Within all that chaos, especially in the last week, we have seen so much of a status competition within the billionaire class. What is your read on that? A competition between Musk and Altman. Why and what is going to be the ultimate outcome of that?
So it's interesting you should say status competition there. For those who are wondering where that comes from, there was an economist, an institutional economist called Thorstein Veblen, who wrote at the end of the 19th and beginning of the 20th century. At one point, he was America's most influential economist back in the day. And he basically wondered why you get these big investment bubbles. And his argument was they didn't use the term billionaires, right? But basically, what you got was a status competition amongst the very top of the investor class. So rather than Musk think JP Morgan, whatever it happens to be, and whatever the new hot thing is, whether it's railroads or radio stocks or in this case AI, when you have super concentrated wealth that already has basically a foothold in this sector, then what you tend to get is a kind of status competition amongst these very top investors that I will be the one that commits, I will be the one that gets the transformative technology. And, in a sense, that's my immortality. And it's not a very fashionable way of looking at it, but I think these days it's a really accurate way of looking at it. What we saw the other day with the Chinese knockoff of AI performing just as well, and then the 15% wiped off the share price of Nvidia, is something that I think we spoke about it last time as well, something that I've long been suspicious of, which is there's a huge amount of a hype bubble in this. The final use cases of AI have yet to be defined. The basic business model is one of us will win and then we will have a monopoly and we exploit everyone else. I'm not sure that's sustainable. In terms of the predictions for it, a couple of years ago when it first appeared, all the cancer researchers or other cancer diagnostic technicians, they were going to be replaced with AI because it was so much more accurate, and none of that's happened. And all of this is very eerily reminiscent of what happened in the 2010s. There was a slew of books and reports from the OECD and Oxford Business School about before we had AI, we had machine learning and sort of deep computing power, etc. And all of this was the race against the machine. And there were all these reports that 50 to 60% of all jobs would be replaced by automation by 2016 or 2020. And all of that proved to be utterly wrong. But it's really good for valuations if you can keep these stories going. So if you have these types of like hype bubble valuations going into sectors, and then you have that status competition going on with the investor class, you get enormously stretched valuations, and those things are very, very vulnerable.